Hi there everyone, welcome to Edupedia World 9th grade Computer Applications video lecture series. I'm Upeka Vandibona, and from this episode we are going to demonstrate the use of features in Microsoft Access. From the previous episodes, we come up with this simple airline database design and we implemented it using the Microsoft Access. So to demonstrate the next feature set, we are using this same airline database. Once again, I'll describe this database design. It has three tables: the pilot table, the flight table, and the assignment table. In the pilot table, it includes the name of the pilot, the ID of the pilot, as well as his experience level. So there are three types of experience levels: the captain level, senior officer level, and the junior officer level. So to symbolize them, we are using three characters: C for the captain level, J for the junior officer level, and S for the senior officer level. In the flight table, it includes the flight number, departure city and the destination city, departure time, and the arrival time. The assignment table was a junction table to remove the many-to-many relationship between the pilot table and the flight table. So this assignment table includes the scheduled date of the pilot for a certain flight number. For one scheduled flight, there may be one or more pilots assigned, and also the same flight may be scheduled on different dates. Okay, this is our airline database. I have added few records in each of the table: the assignment table and the flight table and the pilot table. So rather than adding records using the datasheet view, I'm going to use a form. So to create forms, click the Create tab and use the Form option under the Forms group. So this is the default form for any table. At the top, it displays all of the fields in the table, and at the bottom, it displays the tables that uses the primary key of the table as a foreign key. So the pilot ID is the primary key of the pilot table. In the assignment table, the pilot ID is used as the foreign key. So this is the assignment table fields in here: the flight number and the scheduled date. So in the top, it displays all the labels. If you can remember, for the experience level, we declared the data type of the experience level using the Lookup wizard. Therefore, it uses now a list box. For the number values and the text values, it uses a text box. Here we are now at the layout view. Under this layout view, under the font group, it provides all of the font related options to change the font face, font size, font color, etc. Under the controls group, you can add a logo image, the title, or change the line color, sizes, and styles. Under the auto format group, it provides several themes that you can use for the form. So for this pilot form, I'm going to use this Technic theme in here. Now, if you want to add more controls to the form, for example buttons and stuff, you can use the design view over here. First of all, let's try to save this pilot form we have created by giving a suitable name. And go for the design view. Here you can add more text boxes, labels, buttons, etc. But we are not going to go that much advanced level. Therefore, let's try to view this form at the data entering level. So for that, simply double click on this form. So now to move into the next record, you can use this option. Or to add a new record, you can use this option. So here I am going to add a new pilot. And press the enter key. So to view the pilot table, to check whether the new record was added, simply double click on the pilot table. Here you can see the new pilot Tom is added into the database. And now let's create another form for the flight table. Click the Create tab, and this time we are going to use a form wizard to create the form. You need to select the table, the flight table, and here it will display all the available fields in the selected table. So I'm going to use all of the fields for my form and click the Next button. And here it displays what kind of layout that you can select, either a columnar one, tabular one, datasheet, or justified one. I'm going to select a columnar layout for my form. And now you can select a theme, a style for your form. If you can remember, we have used the technique layout style for our pilot form. So I'm going to use the same theme. And now you can add the title for your form and click the Finish button. So here is the flight information form. And now you know how to create forms. The next feature we are going to demonstrate is reports. Click the Create tab. And using this report option under the reports group, you can create a default report for any table. So I'm going to create a report for the flight table. So this is the default report for the flight table. It displays all the fields in a tabular form and also the printed date and time with the title of the report. So now we are in the layout view. So for the report view, click this option. And now I'm going to create another report, but this time using the wizard. Click the Create tab and use the report wizard under the reports group. Now here you need to mention the table, so I'm going to create a report for the pilot table. And now you need to add all the fields into the report and click the Next button. And here you can mention the grouping level. So I'm going to use the experience level as the grouping. So if I add the experience level as the grouping, it will list it down all of the pilots with his ID and the name under the certain experience level. And click the Next button. And here you can sort the records with a certain field. So I'm going to sort it using the pilot ID. And now you can select a layout for your report, step layout, block layout, or outline layout. So I'm going to use the outline layout, and also you can mention the orientation. And now you can use a theme style. As we selected the technique layout, previous form and the report, so I'm going to use the same. And now you can add a title for your report and click the Finish button. Now you can see it grouped by the experience level, and under each of the experience level it listed down all the pilots for the captain level, for the junior officer level, and for the senior officer level. And now I'm going to add a little bit more information into this report. I'm going to display the count of the pilots under a certain experience level. So for that, first close the print preview and go to the design view. And now I'm going to add a text box. Click the text box option under the controls group and draw the text box. And position it correctly. In this component, I am going to type the label of the text box. And for this text box, it should display the count of the pilot in a certain experience level. Therefore, we need to include a function. So for that, you need to use the control source property. So in this panel over here, it will list down all of the properties in a selected component. So in this control source property, by clicking this small button in here with 3 dots, you can open up the expression builder. So with the count expression, we can display the count of the pilot. So first we need to find the count expression. It's in the functions group, built-in functions. So in here you can find the count function. So this is the count function. I'm going to double click this. So now we need to provide the expression. So we need to count the pilot IDs. It's in the table group. Under the pilot folder, the pilot ID. We need to double click on this pilot ID. Okay, now we have built up our expression. Therefore, click the OK button. And now we can view the report. You can see it counts the pilots in a certain experience level. So under the level C, there are 6 pilots. Under the level J, there are 7 pilots. And under the level S, there are also 7 pilots. Okay, now we are done with creating reports. The next thing we are going to demonstrate is creating queries. Yes, I need to save all of these reports. To create a query, we first need an interrogation question. So my interrogation question is, what are the names of the junior officers? So to create that query, click the Create tab and use the Query Wizard option. I'm going to create a simple query. And here you need to select the table, the pilot, and use the fields that you need to show in the query. Pilot name and the experience level. Now I need to modify this query rather than viewing the results. So I need to show the pilot name but not the experience level. So now I'm going to use this criteria option. So here I'm going to say all the junior officers I need to display. And now we are ready with our query. Therefore, you can use the run option under the results group. So here it displays all the junior officers. If I view the pilot table, you can see Peter, Sunil, Sam, Anil, Janit, Sarat and Tom are the junior officers. So all those names are in here. And now for the next query, I am going to use the flight table. So in the flight table, I need to find out whether the departure time is in the morning or at the afternoon. So to create that query, click the Create tab, and this time I am going to use the Query Design option under the Other group. First, you need to add the flight table. And now you need to select all the fields that you need to show in the results page. So I need to show the flight number, departure city, destination city, and the departure time. And now I need to display in this column whether it is a morning time or the afternoon time. So for that we need to open up the expression builder. Click the builder option under the query setup group. And for our requirement, we are going to use the if and only if function. In shortened form, we call it as IIF. It's in the functions group under the built-in functions folder. And let's search for the IIF. you need to double click on it. In here you need to type the logical expression. So if this expression is true, what's typed in here will be printed out. If what's in here is false, this part will be printed out. In this expression part, we are going to check whether the departure time is lesser than 12 p.m. If it is less than 12 p.m., that means it is a morning value. If it is not, it is an afternoon value. We first write that expression. So the departure time in the tables group, flight folder, and here you can select the departure time. And now we are going to check whether it is less than 12 p.m. So this 12 p.m. is a time value. So to enter a time value, we need another function called time value function. So it's in the built-in functions folder, and it's a date and time function. Now you can search for the time value. Here it is. You need to double click on it. And as the string expression, we are going to type the 12 p.m. Okay, now for the true part, we are going to type the morning. And for the false part, we are going to type the afternoon. And now we are done with our expression. So click OK. And now all we have to do is run this query. You can see all the PM values are afternoon and all the AM values are in the morning. So this morning and afternoon field is not in the table, but we generated it using a field that is in the table. The two queries that we have created had only used a one table. So now I'm going to edit this pilot query to have two tables. So to edit this, you need to go for the design view. So here I'm going to add other two tables using the show table option under the query setup. The assignment table and the flight table. Okay, now I'm going to add the flight number from the assignment table and the departure city from the flight table and destination city from the flight table. So if I run this query, it will display all the flights that were assigned to the junior officers. So to run this query, click the run button and you can see how the flights were assigned to the junior officers. One last thing we are going to show you now is how to insert charts for the reports. So before that, you have to figure out what kind of chart is best suitable to demonstrate your information. Whether it is a column chart, whether it is a bar chart, whether it is an area chart, a line chart, or a scatter plot, or else a pie chart, a bubble chart, or a donut chart. Okay, now to show you how to insert charts for the reports, I am using the same pilot information report that we have created earlier. So if I show you the pilot table, you can see I have added few records, 31 records to the pilot table. And if I filter it using the experience level, you can see for captain level, there are 6 records. For the junior officer level, there are 15 records. And for the senior officer level, there are 10 records. So the count is now much more distinctive. Okay, now we need to open up the design view of the pilot information report. Here I am going to insert the chart into the page header. Therefore, we need to increase the height of the page header. So for that, move your mouse cursor between the page header and the experience level header. You can see how the mouse cursor is changed. Simply drag down to increase the height of the page header. Now click on this insert chart option under the controls group and simply draw it on the page header area. When you release your mouse pointer, the chart wizard will be opens up. So here you can use either a table or a query to create the chart. So I'm going to use the pilot table to create the chart. In my chart, I'm going to represent the count of the pilots in each experience level. So here I need to select the experience level field for my chart. And here you need to select the chart type. So I'm going to use a pie chart for my report. And now you need to add the data. So as I am going to create the count of the experience level, I need to drag this item experience level to the data field. So if you need to view the preview of the chart, you can always use this option to go for the preview. So here is the preview of the chart. For the captain level, it represented by this area. For the junior officer level, it represented by this area. And for the senior officer level, it represented by this area. So now my chart is okay. Therefore, I am going to finish this chart wizard. As this area is not enough for my chart, I am going to increase the height of the page header and increase the size of the chart. Now it's okay. If you want to view the report, you can use this option over here. So you can see the report is okay. So that's all what we got here under this episode. Up to now, we have covered up almost all of the fundamentals in database packages. Therefore, we can try out some database designing questions from the next episode. Under the computer applications area, it is a much vital thing to learn how to design a database to a given scenario. So thank you for watching and don't forget to watch the next lecture. This video brought to you by edupediaworld.com. Watch more from our website.